Hi, my name's Marta, and I have lymphomatoid papulosis. And when I was looking at YouTube for videos of other people or information about lymphomatoid papulosis, also known as LyP, there was not much except for very technical, either professors or physicians speaking to the subject. And I thought, gosh, I've now spent, I think I've had it for 3, 4 years now, and I've spent a lot of time doing a lot of research, and I just wanted to sort of offer my insight and offer the opportunity for those of us who have it to connect, because lymphomatoid papulosis affects 1 out of about 1 million people, so it's very, very rare. It's considered the World Health Organization decided to put it as a type of cancer, but what lymphomatoid papulosis does is it mimics cancer. So I have type D, where I have CD30 and CD8 cells that mimic an aggressive type of lymphoma, but I don't have any of the symptoms. So lymphomatoid papulosis, all of us are different. Some people have many spots or areas that show up as either simple spots or necrotic spots. It just depends. How I get it, I typically get, what happened with me is I had a spot, I think it was on my neck. Oh, yeah. It was on my neck. And it wouldn't go away. And this was like 3 years ago. And I was like, what is going on? And finally I was like, you know what? It's been like 6 weeks and it looks worse. So I went to a dermatologist and she said, this is weird. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. I'm not sure what this is. And lo and behold, the cutaneous lymphoma specialist is very close by. She knows her. She was able to send me to the University of Colorado hospital here in Denver, and I was able to be diagnosed very, very quickly. But that is very unusual. Many of you who've experienced this LyP, it can sometimes take years and years and years to get a diagnosis. Many physicians will say it looks like a bug bite. It looks like just a rash. It looks like a whole lot of things because LyP is so rare. It's not typically the first thing to be on any sort of dermatologist's mind. Some of dermatologists have never seen it even. So I was very lucky in that I got diagnosed right away. And the diagnosis has been soft. Like, they think it's LyP. They're pretty sure it's LyP. And I've gone back a couple times for different biopsies, and it continues to show this LyP type of precancerous growth, if you will. And I have done, so let me just talk about some of the treatments. Some of the treatments that are really common are topical steroids. I don't know if you can tell, I have a spot right here right now. And if I'm really good at putting stuff on here, morning and night with topical steroids, it helps me a lot keep my individual spots from growing, because mine will grow, and especially on my hip, they'll grow very, very big and be very gross and necrotic and not pretty. So I have found that if I'm on top of the ointment, the steroid ointment, if I just rub it on morning and night, if I stay on it and do it religiously, I will keep them from growing and they will go away. That's just me. That's so far what's happened. I was getting some pretty nasty ones and big ones, and I did the UV light. I did the where you go to the hospital a couple times a week and you stand in this machine, and for 20 seconds they start you off at like 10 seconds, and then you go to 12 seconds, and they just keep going up. And I didn't love the idea of zapping my entire body with UV rays, but the results were good. The results have kept my spots from getting really aggressive and as many spots. Now, I'm not one who typically gets a ton of them. I get them one or two here or there. Luckily, or not. I mean, I get them on my face. And then anytime I have a weird thing that pops up, it could not look like even a lymphomatoid papulosis spot. I do go in to have them looked at by the dermatologist because I'm susceptible to a lymphoma type of issue. Since we're more apt to getting lymphoma, it's always worth it to me to have my spots looked at just to make sure that I'm on the proactive side than the reactive side. But I also wanted to give you a couple resources. In the Facebook, if you're on Facebook, there's a Facebook group called Lymphomatoid Papulosis. You can ask to be added and we'll add you, and then you can ask lots of different questions. It can be very, very scary when you're first diagnosed. You're like, oh my gosh, what is this disease? How is it going to impact my life? Am I going to get cancer? I know I had all those different types of questions, and I still do when I get these spots or these things that pop up. And I'm not sure what they are, and I'm waiting for the pathology report. My mind goes a little nutso. I start looking up massive amounts of studies and treatments, and the newest and the greatest, because so little is actually out there on lymphomatoid papulosis. There's just not a lot of data. The Cutaneous Lymphoma Foundation is a great resource as well. And then I was also told, like, on Google forums, or there's a forum group that also connects that has lymphomatoid papulosis folks in there. So hopefully those give you a couple resources that will help you as you kind of are figuring this out. Kids can get lymphomatoid papulosis. The most common are men, not me, that are quite a bit older. Not older. I'm not so young, but like 60 plus. Also not me right now. And what's been shown is the longer you've had lymphomatoid papulosis, there is a connection to age of getting cancer, as well as type of lymphomatoid papulosis. So it is just interesting to know that. I believe type B and C are the types that typically are more apt to get a lymphoma. I have been told, because I had some CD8 this last time I had my biopsies, that was more of a type D, but it can change. And the types can shift. It's not like once you have one type, then that's it. Some people say, okay, well, how do you even get this? Well, they don't know much about it. They know that it's an immune system, your immune system going haywire. I believe it's a T cell issue. And that's about it. But I just thought, hey, listen, if there's anybody out there who needs a little support and love or has questions, you can feel free to comment below or share your questions with me. It can feel a little bit frightening, a little bit overwhelming. There's not a lot of data on it, and I know that can be a little scary, but most people do really, really well. At least in the Facebook group, we talk about the fact that there's many people who've had this for 40 years and have never had issues. Many, many people like that. It's just annoying and can cause you to feel embarrassed or a little uncomfortable in your skin. Some of your papules might get a little bit itchy and uncomfortable. That's also so annoying. Mine get really itchy. I've had them in my mouth. I've had them here. I've had biopsy here. I've had biopsy here. I've had biopsies here. I have one right now that I was biopsied. I have a biopsy on my arm that was done. It's a little bit of, but you kind of simmer down. And I had just had 2 biopsies not that long ago, but I hadn't had any for like a couple of years. So it just kind of ebbs and flows. I can tell sometimes it has to do with whether my stress level, how that is, or what's going on there. Sometimes I might notice a few little papules that arrive because of my stress. So let me know if you have any questions. Bye.